Welcome to another episode of Soul Snacking with Dr. Mary Amore. I'm Dr. Mary, and I'm delighted that you have tuned into our program. This is a special segment devoted to our military and the wonderful spiritual healing program that Mayslake Ministries offers those who suffer from PTSD. Before we begin our show, let me tell you a little bit about the work that we do at Mayslake Ministries. Mayslake Ministries is a nonprofit ministry whose mission is to engage Catholics and Christians in a modern world. And we do this through a wide variety of avenues, including individual spiritual direction and counseling, weekend retreats, adult enrichment programs, inspiring blogs, videos, books, and television shows. Some of our other specialized programs include a caregiver's ministry, a marriage enrichment program for couples, and a mom's ministry. Our programs are relevant to the ever-changing needs of today's believer. Mayslake Ministries is also the only organization in the Midwest to offer free spiritual outreach to our military men and women who suffer the hidden and moral wounds of war. Over the years, we have helped hundreds of soldiers and their families begin their spiritual process to healing and wholeness. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, Mayslake Ministries has a program or service to help you. All people are welcome at Mayslake Ministries. For more information on our wide range of programs and services, I invite you to visit our website at mayslakeministries.org and follow us on Facebook to see the ways that we can assist you on your walk with Christ. It is my hope that this TV show, Soul Snacking, will serve up some delicious and nourishing ways to feed your hungry spirit. We've got a great show for you today. As I just mentioned, Mayslake Ministries proudly serves our veterans, and so today we are honored to welcome back two of America's finest soldiers, Michael Kernan, a former U.S. Navy veteran who served from 2008 to 2012 on the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Tim Sullivan, who served the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War. Welcome back, my friends.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So for those who are just tuning in, this is like our part two of a series we're doing on our veterans program to help our military. And in the first episode, we kind of talked about, you were sharing your stories of, how you were, serving in Vietnam and how you just recently came back from the war. And what I'd like to do in this segment is kind of give our listeners, those soldiers that are sitting out there thinking, I don't know, is this retreat for me? What can I expect? I want to let them kind of know what goes on. But before I do that, why don't you tell me what you experienced when you walked through the doors, when you got the courage to go, Mike?
Sure, yeah. My anxiety level was through the roof. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I walked into the room, I was just welcomed instantly by Sister Sarge and Augie. Mm-hmm. And there was offered food immediately. But my anxiety level just went from 100 to 0, as in,
wow,
completely washed away. Mm-hmm. I just felt, very welcomed right away, and I'm seeing other veterans with their spouses as well. I mean, I thought this was going to be outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be really good. I could just feel this, spiritually. I can
right.
feel it, okay, this is going to be all right. It's not mm-hmm. going to be intense, or, So it was just very, very welcoming instantly from Augie and Sister Sarge. Mm-hmm. It was great. It's great.
Yeah, you mentioned Sister Sarge. We
yes.
do have to explain to people that are watching. Sister Sarge runs these retreats, and she served proudly in Vietnam.
Yes.
And then through her experience in Vietnam, Sister lost her faith. Obviously, then found it, became a religious sister, and then went on to get her counseling degree. So she has spent her entire life serving veterans. And Augie, he assists Sister on these retreats, and He is a Marine who actually, and I've told his story before, he came on our very first retreat 10 years ago. You know, he had just retired, he was looking for something to do. I said, well, we've got this vets retreat, why don't you come? And he came on it, and he called me later and he said, Mary, I didn't realize that for 40 years I had carried some things with me. And so, you know, that is the beauty of these retreats, is that it's military, ministering to military, and they were founded as a way for people to just begin to unpack their story. Because as we've talked before, Tim, you know, people like myself, you know, lay people that have never served, could never in a million years fathom what you two have gone through and experienced. And so, you know, the fact that you are there with your own comrades, all military, I think is really a bonus. Yes. You know, that there's nothing to fear when you go on these retreats. Yes. So, Tim, what did you experience when you first walked? How did you get in the door, Tim?
I was dragged, kicking and screaming by my wife. Mm-hmm. So it was, yeah, she was pretty insistent that this is something that might be a good experience.
Now, why was she insistent? What was she seeing that in your how you behaved in life or whatever, that she thought this might help you?
Well, you know, some of the things she experienced, I didn't really realize I was
doing.
Yeah, like so. But part of it is this constant need to escape, to escape the world, escape to a dark place, or reacting suddenly to any small disturbance, little things, and they just become part of. I just think thought they were normal. They were not normal to her.
Right.
So she saw something that I thought was normal behavior that wasn't normal to her. So she thought that, and I've always resisted.
Sure.
Learned, and I've spent 30 years suppressing any feelings and suppressing the experience as a way to deal with it.
Right.
So the more I could just try to escape from it, get
ignore
away
it,
from it,
right?
Ignore it.
Thinking it would go away, right?
Go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the walking into the room, I had no expectations. I know that I'm bound and determined I was not going to talk about anything, and certainly wasn't going to talk about any experience. And lo and behold, I ended up sharing a very, very deep secret and experience that had not even been shared with my wife. So she heard it for the first time.
Wow.
So it was quite an experience. And that, I mean, with that, I just keep coming back.
There you go. Right. God's grace abounds. Right. And Mike, you know, you told us that your grandma, God bless your grandmother, you know, she said, yeah, you should go. What do you think that your grandma was seeing in you that she knew something wasn't right?
Yeah. It's in similar ways to what Tim was saying, you know, just a lot of, throughout the past couple of years, a lot of family and friends have noticed little things as in mood swings, isolation, just not being myself, was a big factor. And I'm a very high-spirited person, if you don't know me, and just completely turned, and I didn't realize that it was happening.
Really?
And it took some serious thinking after hearing it from close relatives, not just my grandmother, my mother, father, brothers, sister, that I've changed. I'm a different person, and not in a good way.
Okay.
So I told myself, it's time to reach out for help. As hard as it is, me being young, not thinking, oh, I could get through this, it's
Right.
gonna be all right, ignoring it. I knew that it was time to reach out for help, and this is one of the first steps, was coming to this retreat, which was great. So.
You mentioned something. I mean, you are young. And most of our veterans that have come on these retreats are, Vietnam or, later years. And for you to recognize, and for your family to say, you know what, something's not right. I think it's also a sign of the times, because as you said earlier, in the 70s, nobody talked about this. There were no avenues to help anybody. But now, we were talking earlier about the suicide rate. What is it for our?
So right now, statistics are 22 veterans are taking their lives daily. And it gives me the chills thinking of that. And recently, there was a Navy veteran in Chicago that just took his life on Halloween night. It's hard to reach out for help. It's hard to put your hand out for the help. Deep inside, you want it. But as a veteran, sometimes it's just hard to ask for that help.
Well, again, I am not military, but when we were beginning this program, I sat with some people from Heinz, and what they told me is that asking for help in the military is a sign of weakness, so you just don't.
Exactly.
And you learn to live with it, but that's just it. People aren't living with it. And so the grace that your loved ones encouraged you to go, but something was working inside you as well. Yes, you went kicking and screaming. Yes, you were anxious, but you went.
Yes.
And it's just, if I could only encourage everybody to take that first step, to just come. You can always leave, but once you're there, I think, right, that a military person that might be sitting at home watching this thinking, I don't know, should I go, should I not go? What would you say to them?
I would say one of the things that it is it is a safe environment.
Yes.
It's okay to share.
Yes.
And Sister Sarge, she does such a great job of setting it up. First of all, she talks like a vet.
Yes, yes.
So that helps.
Yep, right.
And then she described that we're not there to talk about post-traumatic stress syndrome. We're there to talk about post-traumatic spiritual
Right.
syndrome.
Yes.
And it's not religious, but it is about our spirit. And it is a damaged spirit that we're discussing and sharing. And no matter what war you're from, doesn't matter. I mean, it could be somebody from the Civil War. I don't care. It is. It's a fractured spirit that we all experience and we live with. So I think that. But the safe. You learn very quickly that it's a safe place.
Right.
Yes.
You feel loved without people hugging. It's not a huggy place, but it's a place where you do feel safe.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And so I love that term, fractured spirit, because I think that's what you're bringing. You're bringing in a fractured spirit on Friday night, but when you leave on Sunday morning, tell us about. So what kind of transpires over the weekend? For someone who might be thinking about going?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, it took a lot for me to actually go. But once I got there, as Tim was saying, that's what I meant to say earlier, is safe environment. So once I knew it was a safe environment, I felt so much better about just the whole retreat in general. And I have major sleep issues, and for the first time, and I told my doctor at the VA hospital recently about the retreat and how that weekend I was actually able to sleep throughout the night, and I haven't had a moment like that, and I can't even tell you when. So it was something very spiritually going on while I was there. in ways that I can barely describe. But you know, getting a good night's rest for the week, that whole weekend was just outstanding.
Like you felt peace for the first time in a long time.
Honestly, that's what I felt. It was just a lot of peace and just good vibes, great vibes.
And hope.
And hope, yes.
Hope.
And having faith too. And,
yes.
you know, so for any other veterans that are looking to go. It's not going to hurt you to go.
No.
You're around a great staff, other veterans that are in the same position as you, maybe their first time going or their second time going. Just the support is great. And I left the retreat, you know, just feeling so much better spiritually inside, a bit closer with God. I've been praying a lot more since, and you know, my faith has just gone up, definitely.
That's a gift.
And
yes.
it is.
And you know, even though we're Catholic, and you know, but all people are welcome on these retreats, people of any faith, because the bottom line, we're all made in the image and likeness of God, and we're all brothers and sisters. We got that God spark within us, and so you know, if you think of that God spark healing that fractured spirit, I'm just going to hold on to that term. I really like it. Yeah, you know, and in that safe environment. Plus, there's good food, right?
Yeah, great,
I mean,
great food.
You know, you can't go wrong with that. Yeah, and so
and good jokes.
And good. Well,
jokes.
I can imagine. Oh, with the military, I'm sure there's great jokes. Yes.
Definitely.
So, Tim, when you left that very first retreat, what did you take away from it that brought you back again?
Well, it's a good question, and the word healing is a word that I've kind of struggled with. So the way that I think of it is that when you experience a terrible wound and your skin is torn apart, you have a traumatic wound. The wound heals, but it's left with a scar, and the scar will always be there, and the scar will never disappear. It'll never heal. But to have the courage to take off your shirt and show the scar is what this retreat has done for me. The scar will always be there.
It's a part
and
of
the scar
you.
is the spirit is scarred.
Right.
It's part of who you are. You can say it's okay. You know, you can never go back to it. You can never duplicate the experience. The scar is always there. So just to be able to share why you have that scar with other people who have been scarred just helps you get on with life.
Right. And you bring up a great point. A lot of the weekend is about sharing your story. No one has to if they don't want to, but the ability to get it out. Again, in a safe environment, surrounded by other military who are definitely in some way going to connect with what you have to say. You know, it's getting that out, verbalizing it, and then allowing, you know, healing to take place, peace to enter your heart.
Yes.
So what else would you encourage our veterans that are listening that they might take away from this? Like, it's a weekend retreat, so
weekend retreat. It's worth just showing up, and
right.
you don't have to share.
And
no
it's free.
one forces you.
Yes,
It's free.
And it's our way of
And
giving
just
back. It's our way of saying thank you to our brave military men and women who have served our country. And yeah, you know, we're not for profit, but it is our way of saying thank you. So.
Yeah, and it's an honor to have other people, civilians such as yourself, or non-veterans, reach out to us veterans and say, hey, we're here, we want to help. It's a great feeling, because sometimes you don't feel as much support from
So even though
civilians.
you came home to a hero's welcome, as you
Yeah.
shared in the first episode, that isolation, it came in quickly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, war is war is war.
War is war.
No matter your,
Right.
no matter what you come home to, war is.
Yes.
It is. It's war. Yeah.
But for my other fellow veterans, I definitely challenge yourself. Go reach out for help. It's okay. And organizations such as Mayslake doing this for veterans is just outstanding. I think it's just absolutely outstanding. And I challenge other veterans to reach out for help.
Thank you. Tim, you got any closing remarks before we?
Well, through the 4 retreats that I've been on, I can't think of a single individual that after come Sunday that they didn't have a positive experience and a lifted spirit. And so that's always good.
It is.
And you can feel the spirit.
Yes, you can,
working.
and I think that's wonderful. So, I want to thank you, Mike. I want to thank you, Tim, 1, for your service, 2, for sharing your story, and for helping. Your story, I am sure, will help other veterans to say, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll come on retreat and begin that step to healing and wholeness. So God bless you, really. So it is truly an honor. And on behalf of Mayslake Ministries, we'd like to thank the Village of Addison, Downers Grove, and Comcast Cable TV for the opportunity to join you today on your spiritual journey. I hope that something we said today will inspire you or perhaps challenge you, but most of all, make you hungry for Jesus and healing in your life. For more information on the many ways that Mayslake Ministries can help you on your spiritual journey, visit our website at mayslakeministries.org or call us at 630-852-9000. We are here for you. Until next time, God bless. Okay.